So I will start with most recent event that happened today. Our Prime Minister spoke about convoy and about COVID, about restrictions, about vaccines, like he always does. A few things that I did notice and I would like to actually say something about it to Mr. Trudeau. One, when you are saying that vast majority of Canadians choose to get vaccine, you forget to mention that most of vaccinations, the huge boost of vaccinations, actually the second boost came after introduction of restrictions, vaccination passports, and me as well. I'm fully vaccinated, and I mostly did it because of restrictions that provinces launched about traveling, about going out, about taking kids to activities, and so on and so on. So if there wouldn't be any restrictions, I'm not sure that I would get vaccinated, and I'm sure that a lot of people wouldn't get vaccinated as well. So this is about the choice. So there was never any real choice about vaccinations. Yes, a lot of people did it because they choose to do it, but not majority and not 90%, like you say, of the people, for sure. So this is about the choice of vaccination. Second, about the labeling. All you do today, most of the time, is labeling people that do not agree with vaccination passports, with restrictions, automatically to label them as anti-vaxxers. It's a broad description, anti-vaxxers, like I myself, I do believe in vaccines. There are a lot of good vaccines that without them it would be significantly harder to live. But you forget something else, like we have vaccines that we were doing as kids as well, before school, after school, and so on and so on. These vaccines were proven effective. These vaccines showed what are the long-term effects. So it's not like we don't believe in science. I do, honestly. I'll speak about myself. I do believe in science. I do feel that there are vaccines that are good for everyone and for humanity. What I don't really believe is big pharma corporations, and not because I'm not because I believe in conspiracy theories or something like this. It's just, let's take, for example, Pfizer. Well, Pfizer was fined, I think its biggest fine in history, and criminal charge basically for misleading clients or saying not what they were supposed to say about their medications, and it was 2010 or something like this, so not that far ago, and they were so for me to believe to company that their main goal is to make money. And yes, you can speak about researchers in universities that they are speaking about they are trying to do good things and ideals and so on and so on. But when you are speaking about companies like Pfizer, it's mostly about money, to make money for them, for shareholders, and so on and so on. I think that the best example about it is what happened with AstraZeneca and how we can actually trust them. So AstraZeneca launched their vaccine, Health Canada approved it, it went out, people started to get shots, and then at some point there were concern raised that it affects younger people, 20 to 40, and can give heart disease and so on and so on. But the problem is not about that. Yes, all vaccines may have side effects. The problem is what was the company policy. So when it was raised, first thing the company said, it's not us. It's probably underlying conditions of people and so on and so on. Then, after a little bit digging, they said, you know what, okay, there is a factory in one of the factories that they have, it probably was wrong, like bad batch because of wrong instructions and so on and so on. So Health Canada while stopped when the concerns raised, they stopped using AstraZeneca. Then they said, okay, we can continue because it's just specific factory, specific batch. We are not getting vaccines from this factory, so we can do it. And they approved it again. And then eventually it was discovered that it's not just batch, it's specifically the vaccine itself. And then they stopped using it again. As you could see, the company first reaction was, it's not us, and then, oh, maybe it's just specific batch, and then they said, yeah, we do have this side effect, sorry. So how sure can you be that if Pfizer will discover at some point that long term of this vaccine will cause something really bad in people? Do you really believe that they will come and say about it now? I doubt, because it's too much money. They will just go down, like all company will go down forever. So I doubt that they will say anything. Besides it, again, I'm not conspiracy theorist or something like this. So I like, there are a lot of things that you can think about, but also about timings. So, for example, now today we have Omicron wave. Pfizer came out and said, okay, we are working on vaccine specifically for Omicron, and we already developed it, so we are starting manufacturing. It will be ready for distribution in March, but we only now started to do the clinical trials. So how did they launch manufacturing process before finalizing the clinical trials and getting approvals? So basically they assume that they will have approval, otherwise they wouldn't spend so much money to waste in case it won't be approved. But okay, so let's assume they have enough money to start manufacturing, even if it will be waste. And then US government said, you know what, in March we may not even need the Omicron vaccine, because with the spread that we have, most of the people will get it before it. So then suddenly, just a few days later, a week later, I just saw the news and, oh, we discovered new subvariant of Omicron. We still don't know too much about it, but it may be even deadlier and faster spreading than regular Omicron. Come on, guys. The timing, like, maybe it's just coincidence, but today it's really hard to believe in coincidence anymore. So this is about what our Prime Minister said about vaccines, science. Besides, you know what, he's a drama teacher, so him and science, it's kind of like two different things. So I don't really understand how can he understand in science whatsoever. But this is what he says, this is what he labeling all the people that somehow have concerns about vaccines. Right away he's saying that they are anti-vaxxers, they don't believe in science, and they just want to kill basically everyone, all these good vaccinated Canadians. So this is about the one thing that he said, and well, the clip starting to be too long, so I will just continue in the next clip about the next topic. Thanks.